we had so much fun filming those scenes, and what was cool is to see how each actor brought their own personality to each of the characters, and their own personality, their own drunk personality or not sober personality to each of the characters, and their own physical quirks, and whatever they think manifests in their bodies when they're not sober.
Well, Paola, thank you so much for being here, and it's so nice to meet you.
Well, nice to meet you too, Mike, and thank you for having me here. I
Now,
appreciate
I'm
it.
I'm really excited to talk about Obliterated. It
Yeah.
bursted onto the scene on Netflix, but first I need to ask, how was it to play a character that was kind of, let's just say not sober? What was it as fun as it was to watch?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We had so much fun filming those scenes, and what was cool is to see how each actor brought their own personality to each of the characters, and their own personality, their own drunk personality or not sober personality to each of the characters, and their own physical quirks, and whatever they think manifests in their bodies when they're not sober. Um no, it was so fun. It was just, I mean, imagine it, that show, being on that show was like being in a playground, like getting to, realize so many of your dreams as a kid, playing like an action hero and um, being silly. And I don't know, it was just it's a great group.
Well, I kind of want to start from the beginning. What initially attracted you to the project and the script?
Um, I gotta say, what initially attracted me to the character was the name Gomez, because one of my favorite actors, his name is Raul Julia. He passed away, but he was a Puerto Rican actor, and in the movie Addams Family, he played Gomez. So immediately I was like, oh, okay, awesome. But what initially attracted me to the character is was the vulnerability, yet the toughness. I like to think that I have a lot of that in my life. I can be very stern sometimes and very tough, but also like this completely open heart, in a second, gets disarmed. So that really attracted me to the character.
So, were you able to pull from some of those personal experiences when filming?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, uh, Definitely. I grew up around boys. Like I have two older brothers, so I had to be like really tough around them, um, and then very sweet to disarm them at the same time, so they wouldn't beat me up. So there was definitely a lot from my own life that I brought to the character.
Well,
Absolutely.
speaking of being tough, there were so many action scenes in this series. Did you have to do
Yeah.
any, physical preparation? How was it to film those?
I did have to do. We trained with somebody who was a Navy SEAL. His name is Kevin Kent, and he was there the whole time. But in the beginning, he trained us with the guns. He trained us on proper protocol, which was actually really hard to learn because he would have us walk into a room and you have to tap somebody in the back to tell them like, "Hey, it's clear," or "I'm coming over." And if we would do it wrong, he'd be like, "Stop, stop! Your partner just died. He just got shot." And I'm like, "What?" It's like, "You didn't grab him. You didn't tell him that it wasn't clear." And I was like, "Oh God," And you want to do it justice to do justice to the people who actually do this for their daily in their daily lives, who risk their lives. So I got so serious because I was like, "Oh God, I don't want to play pretend and have it be disrespectful for people who actually go through these experiences." So he was fantastic. He really was like stern with us.
Well, this special ops team, that you play a part of on screen, they love each other. They're a family. How were you able to kind of maybe develop that chemistry with some of the castmates so it became a little more authentic and organic?
I gotta tell you, Michael, from the from the beginning, I think we were also overjoyed to be there. And this was obviously after the pandemic, where a lot of people perhaps hadn't worked in a while or hadn't worked in the same capacity with the same freedom of being able to talk to each other in person or um and I think we were all, like I said in the beginning of our conversation, getting to realize those dreams as a kid, like that playground feeling. Um, and I think from the get go, we all connected and we all wrote to each other on Instagram when the thing came out. I immediately wrote to Nick and to Terrence, who plays Trunk and McKnight. Immediately, like we, I was so nervous to write to them, but it was like a three-way chat. And I was like, hey, I'm really excited. And then we just started chatting and we were like, yeah, this is awesome. There was an immediate bond with everybody. Like an enormous amount of support and joy, man. It was just fun.
Well, so you mentioned this playground of a set that you're on, and there's so many because it is an action series, but there's so much comedy involved. Were you able to
Right.
maybe like riff or like was it all scripted? How much fun did you have maybe trying different things?
Well, obviously out of respect for the writers who work their butts off, like
Mhm.
writing these scripts for months, if not years. I'm a writer too, so out of respect for them, we always like pretty, stuck with that. But there was moments where we could add a word here or there, and I would ask them, "Hey, can I add this in Spanish?" and like Puerto Rican slang Spanish, and would be like, "Yeah, let's try it." And they let you try it, and obviously, like I said, with a lot of respect to them and asking before. So as not to ruin a take where everybody's on script and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I don't know. But they were super open. They're great collaborators, and yeah, I have nothing other to say than nothing to say other than yeah, they let us be, and we were respectful about it. We weren't like wild, you know.
Now, I know you like to, represent the Latin community on screen, telling those types of stories. Did you kind of maybe go into the character of Gomez with that idea of, okay, I'm playing a Latin character. Let me try and, show what we're all about?
Um, I from the get go, obviously the character's name is Gomez, which is a Spanish last name. And I'm from Puerto Rico, born and raised, and I always I always bring that flavor in there. Of course, when it's granted, if I'm playing a character that's not Hispanic, I'm not gonna be like, mira que pasó, I'm not gonna bring the Spanish, but um, I think I had a pretty clear vision of the character, and of course, if I ran all those things by them, and had they said like, hey, no, we want her to be Mexican, or or had they said that we wanted to be her to be Colombian, then we would have worked with that in terms of like maybe a different accent a little bit. But no, I like to represent tough, smart yet tough yet vulnerable, smart, tough Hispanic women.
That's
tough,
fantastic. Now,
tough
I
all
want
the
to
way.
I want to finish up with a kind of a fun one here, and this kind of
Perfect.
maybe you can talk more about your fellow cast members. Which of the cast members are most like their characters, and who are completely different?
Everybody's pretty similar to their
Really?
characters. Yeah. I think somebody that's similar to his character, but in the best way possible, in the heart way, is Eugene as Paul.
Hmm.
Eugene is just like a good person and a good friend and fun at the same time. Somebody who's not like their character. I think Kimmy, who played Maya.
Hmm.
Kimmy is a very, in the beginning, her character, Maya's character, is not very confident, right?
Yeah.
Kimmy is the exact opposite of that. She's a sweetheart, but she is confident and she stands her ground. And so I think those two differ there, But um, yeah, no, Kimmy. I don't know if you got a chance to meet her, but she is incredible.
That's
One of
fantastic.
my favorites.
I'll have to talk to her about that and kind of get her
Yeah,
thoughts on that as well. Well, Paula,
yeah.
thank you so much for taking the time to chat
Thank you,
today.
Michael.
I really enjoyed it, and I hope to speak again soon.
That's right. We will. We will. Thank you so much. Have a good day.